What's up, YouTube? How's it going? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Full Metal Digimon, and this is going to be a breakdown of how Orcust works, the core of the deck, which engines you can run with it, the basic combo, so on and so forth. So let's just hop right into this, man. Got some chill music, we're going for it. So, Orcust is an archetype of dark machine-type monsters based around musical instruments. The main deck monsters consisting of Orcust Simple Skeleton, Orcust Harp Horror, Yugioh the Orcust Mech Knight, Orcust Nightmare, the World Legacy World Wand, and the Orcust Brass Bombard, which I personally don't use. But we'll pop him in just so we can tell you what he does too. So the main deck, Orcust monsters all revolve around abilities that activate in the graveyard. They can banish themselves as a cost to then perform an effect in the graveyard. We'll start from the top. Brass Bombard can banish itself from the graveyard to then special summon an Orcust monster from the hand, which will then lock you into dark monsters for the rest of the turn, which is a shared restriction on all the main deck cards. Alright? And it is also a hard once per turn for all of these effects. So Brass Bombard will special summon one from the hand by banishing itself, and it is a level 1 tuner, which could be good, but I personally don't use it, and we don't have Hockey Fibrax anymore. Simple Skeleton is one of your best ones. You can banish this card from your graveyard and then target an Orcust monster in your graveyard except itself and special summon it. This can let you resummon your boss monsters, anything out of the graveyard. Obviously amazing. Locks you into dark monsters. Harp Horror can banish itself from the graveyard to special summon any Orcust monster from your deck, which is amazing. So you have hand, graveyard, deck. Pretty easy to remember, all lock you into dark monsters. The other two are a little more complicated. You have the Orcust Nightmare and the World Wand. The Nightmare cannot be destroyed by battle with a Link monster, which is fine, but you can banish it from the graveyard to target a face-up monster in the field, and then send a Dark Machine monster from your deck to the graveyard, and then increase the attack of that monster by the level times 100. You will use this to dump your World Legacy World Wand to the graveyard. It has a lot of text, but all we really care about is down here. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one of your banished Orcust monsters and special summon it. And once again, this also locks you into darks. So those are the main deck. And then you have Yugioh, the Orcust Mech Knight. This card was recently released to 3, which is easily the best starter for the whole deck. When this card is normal or special summoned, you can send an Orcust or World Legacy card from your deck to the graveyard. And then if there are 2 more cards in this column, treat it as a tuner. We don't really synchro summon, so it's not a big deal. If you control no other monsters, you can special summon a World Legacy token to both players' fields and defense position. This can turn off Imperm, this can turn off Evenly Matched. It can also set up columns for you to use with your Mech Knight cards. So yeah, he's amazing. You use him, you send your Harp Horror to the graveyard, and everything is rolling. So this deck revolves around, as far as starters go, you want to send your Harp Horror to the graveyard in any way, shape, or form. So you can do things like a Foolish Burial, right? The obvious inclusion here. Cards like Scrap Recycler, when this card is normal or special summon, send a machine monster from your deck to the graveyard. That starts the whole thing right there. Armageddon Knight, when this card is summoned, send a dark monster from your deck to the graveyard. Easy, easy. Dark Grepher, he can special summon himself by discarding the World Wand or the Nightmare. But you can also just normal summon him. Discard a dark monster to send a dark monster from your deck to the graveyard. So he can also unbrick you a bit as well. Those are probably the best starters. You can also do little mini combo with Nightmare Corruptor Ibli. If you're going a more Mech Knight line, I can show you how that works. But when this card's normal summoned, you can special summon a Link monster so that it points to her, which you'll almost never use. But it says if it's sent to the graveyard, you can special summon it to your opponent's field and defense position. So similar to Girsu, it will create a column for you with her and an Almirage in one column, and then it'll also lock your opponent into link summoning and turn off their ability to imperm or evenly matched from the hand. So yeah, that's about it for starters. Other starters you can use would involve using other engines, like the Punk engine. You can use this engine here: 1 Deerno, 1 Foxy Tune, 1 Ogre, 3 Zeoman, and 2 Emergency Teleport to go into a Chaos Ruler. And Chaos Ruler will let you mill cards off the top of your deck and grab exactly what you need off the top of the deck. And can do it without your normal summon, which is pretty amazing. Yeah, so that's about it for starters, I think. This deck is very consistent the way it's built right here, but obviously this is just an Orcust core. So let's go into the Mech Knight cards to go into a little more of the starting capabilities. So Mech Knights are a another archetype that runs right alongside these guys, and you want to focus on your purple and your blue. So purple says if there's 2 cards in the same column, you can special summon him from your hand to that column, which is a shared effect of all the Mech Knights except for Girsu. This card can quick effect target a Mech Knight you control and banish it temporarily, and if you do, you add a Mech Knight to your hand. So if you open him, you can search for the blue, or if you open the blue, you use that. This card says, same effect, if there's 2 or more cards in the column, you can special summon it to the column. But when you do that, you can add Mech Knight monsters with different names from your deck to your hand equal to the number of your opponent's cards in the column. So if they have 2 cards and built a column for you, you're searching 2 cards off of this. So when you do that, you can go purple, search the blue, blue can search your indigo and a Girsu. Okay, sometimes you'll be able to search 3, but we don't plan on that. You mostly want to search your Girsu, then you can normal summon, send your Harpoorer, and you have your whole combo again. Very, very powerful, very effective. And then our other World Legacy, or our other Mech Knight cards that I like to use is the World Legacy Secret. This will let you reborn a level 5 or higher monster in your graveyard, and then it will actually negate any monster effect that activates in the same column as a Mech Knight monster you control, which if you need it, you can shut people down really hard with this. And it is also searchable through the World Key Blade Master and from the Mech Knight of the Morning Star. So yeah, searchable. You can also have the World Legacy Memory. This card can special summon a Mech Knight monster from your hand or deck, but it returns to the hand in the end phase. But you can use this to special summon him, to search him, to search him. The only big downside is that you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn, except Mech Knight monsters. So you want to do as much as you can before this, but if you Orcust combo, you'll lock yourself into Darks, and then you'll only be able to summon Girsu with it. But you can summon Girsu with it, and then, pass and the most important main deck Orcust card is the reason why that's okay. So this is Orchestrated Babble. This ties the whole deck together. You'll be setting this card up through your Link monster, which we'll go into in just a moment. Orchestrated Babble says you can activate the effects of Orcust monsters in your graveyard or Link monsters you control with Orcust in their name as quick effects. So it turns all of those graveyard abilities, banish to summon, banish to summon, banish to summon, into quick effects so you can combo on your opponent's turn as well. And then during the main phase, if this card's in the graveyard, except the turn it got sent there, you can actually send a card from your hand to the graveyard to add it to your hand, which is kind of crazy if you have like a Harpoorer in your hand or something like that to discard to grab this card. Can get real nutty really fast. This also lets you play around interruptions that your opponent might have on your own turn, because it turns them into quick effects on your turn as well. So this card just makes the deck completely busted. You definitely only want to play one because it is a brick if you draw more than one. The other card that we can search with the Link Monster is Orcust Crescendo. And this card is something to behold. If you can open this or get it set up alongside the field spell on your first turn, it's amazing. But when a spell, trap, or monster effect is activated while you control an Orcust Link, negate the activation, and if you do, banish the card. You can then later banish this card from your graveyard and add a Dark Machine that's banished or in your deck, which is very powerful, but it locks you into Dark Machine monsters for the rest of the turn, which can be very hard to play around. Alright, so that's about it for the main Orcust monsters. As far as filling out the rest of the deck, you really... what hand traps do you own? So, you know, Nibiru, Maxi, Ash Blossom, Effect Veiler, Ghost Bell, and look at that. I'm already up to 38 cards. We'll throw Triple Tactics Talon in there, and boom, that's a deck. Right? You can play that right there. Orcust Mech Knight Pure. That'll do pretty good. It's not bad. You can also push these decks way over 40 cards because of how consistent they are. But we'll stick with just this for now. This is fine. Whatever hand traps you have. I just threw like 20 hand traps or so in there. 17 or something. Let's move on to the extra deck, and we'll go over that a little bit. You know what hand traps do. They stop your opponent from being able to play the game. So for the extra deck, we'll start with our most important Link monster. This is the reason the deck is so good. Galatea, the Orcust Automaton. Now Galatea is a Dark Machine Link monster and takes any 2 effect monsters, including 1 Orcust monster. So it's very, very easy to summon. And this linked card cannot be destroyed by battle, kind of irrelevant, but you can target a banished machine monster, shuffle it in the deck, and then set an Orcust spell or trap directly from your deck. And this is a hard once per turn. So with this, you can set your Babble directly from your deck and recycle some of your banished Orcust monsters since they all banish themselves to activate their abilities. Now you'll use her to set up your Babble, and then using her or any Orcust Link monster, you can rank up into Dingirsu, the Orcust of the Evening Star. This is a rank 8 Dark Machine monster. You can only special summon him once per turn, no matter what. And you can also XC summon this card by using an Orcust Link monster that you control for the full material. Now, if a card you control, any card or multiple cards, would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can detach a material from him instead, which is super powerful. Harpy's Feather Duster, Lightning Storm, DPE, all of the good pops, he can prevent them, even if he's negated, because it is an instead effect. So it replaces the cost as opposed to activating an effect and starting any kind of chain. Now, when you summon this card, you can activate one of his 2 abilities. You can either send a card your opponent controls to the graveyard, which is awesome, which when you summon him, you can send. It's a non-target send. So it's not destroy, and it doesn't target. So this gets around a ton of cards. Avermax, he's done. Mirror Jade, bye-bye. You know, there's a lot of cards you can get around with this guy here. And then his other effect is you can attach a banished machine monster to him as a material, which gives you an extra protection and also lets you recycle your Orcust monsters, because when they get attached and then he goes to the graveyard, all the materials under him will get sent to the graveyard instead of back to the banished pile where they were. So yeah, Dingirsu is the main boss monster of the whole deck. You will summon him every turn, and if you don't, you're missing out on a lot of utility for the deck. Our other Orcust Link monster is Longirsu, the Orcust Orchestrator. This is 2+ effect monsters, including an Orcust monster. Again, it's a very, very easy to summon. And this linked card cannot be destroyed by card effects. Actually, much more relevant. He points down to the right and directly in front and to the left. So when you summon him on the right side, he points to the middle. And right here, if you summon him on the left, you can cover 4 of the 5 main monster zones pointing at your opponent's zones. And that's important. You can target 2 of your banished machine monsters, shuffle them into the deck, and then send a linked monster your opponent controls to the graveyard. And that could be someone that he's pointing at, or if their own link monsters are actually pointing at their monsters, you can send any of those to the graveyard as well. And once again, that's a send and a non-targeting send. So even if they have a spray elf protecting the two, you can send one of those to the graveyard, no problem. And then this card can't attack the turn you use that effect. But yeah, Longirsu, very good. He's your secondary send, so you can use Dingirsu and Longirsu to get 2 sends in 1 turn. You can also, on your opponent's turn, what we like to do is link up into the IP Masquerena, which we know what that does. It lets you link summon on your opponent's turn, but you can link her into the Nightmare Unicorn or into a Longirsu for a send, or even into a Mech Knight Crusadia Avermax as long before you lock yourself into Darks to completely win the Kashtira matchup. In case you didn't know that, Kashtira 1000% loses to this card. Alright, what else are we rocking with? We have the Link Spider. This is super necessary. Do not forget to play Link Spider, okay? This is one normal monster. His effect is irrelevant, but the token that we summon off of Girsu needs to be linked away in order to make a Galatea. So you need the Link Spider to link off, and then you can go into your Galatea and go off King, you know? It's going through, you have your Mech Knight of the Morning Star. This is just part of your backup line. If your Orcust cards get interrupted, say they bestial your Dingirsu, or they call by the grave your Harpor, or whatever they do, you're gonna want a second thing that you can do. So if you have your Mech Knight cards and you've started the combo with that, you can actually go into this card. So this is any 2 monsters, including a Mech Knight monster. So Girsu actually fulfills this condition on his own with the token in himself. If this card is link summoned, you can discard a Mech Knight monster or a World Legacy card and add any World Legacy card from your deck to your hand. And then while this card's on the field, all your Mech Knight monsters can't be destroyed by battle or take damage from monsters that are in a different column than themselves. Can be very annoying. There's certain locks you can do with this card. The Secret, which if you remember, negates the effects of monsters in their column. So if you go to their column to battle them, you're then negated if you have that. And then we also have the Indigo Eclipse, which we didn't go over earlier, but this can quick effect move a Mech Knight to a different column. This will also work on your Avermax as well, who is a Mech Knight, in case you didn't know that. Yep, that's the Morning Star. He's actually quite decent, not too bad, one of. Also have a Royal, let's go. And then the other like World Legacy one that we have is Lid, the World Key Blade Master. This one doesn't always come up, but when it does come up, it's actually really powerful. So you can only link summon this card while you have a World Legacy card in your graveyard. So that could be your World Wand, could be the World Legacy Secrets itself, it could be the World Legacy Memories, which we special summon the Mech Knights with. Okay, so this is part of your backup line. If you lock yourself in the Mech Knights and stuff, you can end up in one of these. But once per turn, in your main phase, you can set a World Legacy Spell or Trap directly from your deck, but you can't activate it this turn if you have no World Legacy monster in your graveyard. That's important to pay attention to. And then if this Link Summon card is sent to the graveyard as a Link material, you can shuffle a card on the field into the deck, which is super powerful. Making an Avermax with her and an IP Masquerena is probably one of the more powerful things you could do in the game. Let's see, extra deck. We have Dark, the Dark Charmer. We should know what this does, right? Reborn any dark monster in your opponent's graveyard to a zone he points to. It's just 2 monsters, including a Dark. Good backup, helps you climb into Access Code. Very good in this deck. He is a Dark, so you can summon him through your combos. The only problem is it's hard to get more than just Dark monsters in the graveyard as pops for this card. But things like the Link Spider and the Mech Knight and Ib, they're lights, so, and this one's an Earth, so it can help you get some more pops than you would normally get. Yeah, what else? The rest of the extra deck is just just whatever you have that's good. Maybe an Underworld Goddess in case they do something like that. I like playing Blackluster Soldier because if you make him with a level 7 or higher monster, he can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects, which is super huge. Again, that can totally win a cash tier matchup right there. But you have level 7s, level 8, level 8. You know, you have a lot of big monsters that you can use to summon this guy. So, you know, maybe throw one of those in there. And Azalea is pretty good too. It's not the best, but it's pretty decent. It's a dark machine, so you can reborn it in certain ways. And when you summon him, it targets a card and destroys it. Or, excuse me. But yeah, I don't really like that card. Let's see what other like monsters we got. You could throw a Topologic in there. That's pretty good too. You can throw an Almirage. You can do whatever you want. But I think I'm gonna throw in an Appaloosa just to have another big Link monster. Yeah, that's pretty good right there. This is your basic Orcust Mech Knight setup right here. So again, another thing you can add in would be the punk cards. If you do add the punks, you would just add in a Chaos Ruler and possibly a Chaos Ruler and the Zombie Vampire. I don't have that card, but I can show you what it looks like. Zombie Stein, the Zombie Vampire. This guy will mill more cards and then resummon from either you or your opponent's graveyard. Which is pretty good. Yeah, you can do that with the punks. The Bestial cards work amazing in this deck, and I'd highly recommend them. And once again, so we're at 40 cards. I mean, why stay at 40 cards, right? So we can get this whole setup. Now we're at 50. That's 10 more cards out of the Bestials. That's pretty good. Another really good supplemental package to this would be the Danger Monsters. This is what I'm about to build right here is my preferred way to play it, but Danger Bigfoot, Nessie, and a Jackalope is plenty right there. You can throw in Tsuchinokos too, which will resummon itself when discarded. You do have a lot of abilities to discard in this deck, so it can work out pretty good for you. So yeah, those are some dangers, and let's see, let's throw some Kaijus in there because you should have an out to Avermax. Arise Heart's coming. You know, things are about to happen. I usually use the level 7s because they're dark. But with the guys, we have to switch it up a little bit. We're gonna go Game of Seal and Godarla. Now, you know, we're gonna go Game of Seal, and we're gonna throw a single Lava Golem in. Boom. Yeah, and a deck like this is gonna work amazing. We'll just call it Orcust. Okay, we'll save it. Alright, now we're here in story mode. We're gonna bully the Monarchs a little bit. I'll show you what an opening hand with this deck can look like. You just want any card that'll send a card to the graveyard, okay? So, Foolish Burial, Dark Greffer, either one will work. Let's gonna go ahead with the Dark Greffer because this is more like what you're normally gonna do. So, normal summon the Dark Greffer. He'll activate to discard any level 5 or higher Dark monster, and then he can send the Harp Horror to the graveyard. Sending Harp to the grave is where all the magic happens. Harp can then summon your Yugioh from the deck, sending your Nightmare to the graveyard, allowing you to link these up. Okay, and this is your bare bones combo, alright? We're going to pretend like we don't have any other cards in our hand. This is a 1.5 card combo. Alright, Nightmare's going to boost the Galatea. And then we're going to send the World Wand, okay? That's fine. Galatea is going to activate, shuffling back the Nightmare. I only play one Nightmare usually, so that I know which one to send back. Set up our Babel. Go ahead and flip it up. Turns all your Orcust into quick effects. Gonna use the World Wand here to summon the Harp Horror. And then we're gonna use Dingirsu to grab our other banished machine monster. This is your turn 1 play. This is how you want to do it. Alright? This is the bare bones of what an Orcust combo looks like. You attach that as material. That's great. And now you have two options. You can go into your IP Masquerena to then perform Link Summons on your opponent's turn, which is what I prefer to do. You can also go into Verite Anaconda, go into a DPE, which is a dark monster which you can summon, and do it like that. But here, we're going to go ahead and link these two off into our IP Masquerena, the big old smile on her face. Alright, now we have a Harp in the grave, we have a World Wand in the grave for next turn. We're going to pretend like none of these cards exist, and we're going to end. And I like to toggle on, because Triple Tactics Talents is a thing right now, okay? So we're going to Harp Horror, banish from the grave, and he's going to summon our Girsu from the deck. Girsu's going to send our missing piece. We're going to send the Nightmare. Nightmare is going to send the Symbol Skeleton. And boost the IP a little bit, so it's not so easy to take out. So now, this is our true end board for just a 1.5 card combo. This could be one if it's a Scrapper Cycler, if it's a Girsu. With a Girsu, it's even better. I'll show you that too. Scrapper Cycler or Armageddon Knight, Foolish Burial, all these will end in exactly this, okay? So we have the IP Masquerena. She can shuffle anything back by going into a Nightmare Unicorn. She can also go into a Long Girsu, which can shuffle back two of our banished monsters to then send a card non-target to the graveyard, which is very good. So, we also have the Symbol Skeleton quick effect to reborn the Dingirsu and send a card from the field to the grave. So here he's gonna waste all our time doing some stuff. He's gonna set some back rows before the end of the main phase, so we have to IP, link up. Into the Unicorn. Discard a card to shuffle one of these back into the deck. Doesn't matter because these cards don't exist. Shuffle that back. And then in the end phase, you can't activate any more cards. We'll Symbol Skeleton, send the other one. So resummon the Dingirsu. Beautiful. And the fact that we play about 17 hand traps in this deck is also very good. There you go. Scrapper Cycler, beautiful one card starter. Summon, he'll send. Send our other Harp Horror. And you'll see this deck is actually a horror. It's actually scary. So Harp, summon. Guess who? Dingirsu. Well, Mini Girsu. Mini Girsu. Send. We'll send the Symbol Skeleton again. Okay. All the ones that are banished, we're replacing them. Alright. And here we can World 1. Resummon Harp Horror. Cool, we can use Scrap and the Nightmare Unicorn to go into access code. Beautiful. And you can link these off. I need to show you the full extent of the power. So we're just gonna click buttons like crazy, okay? So access code, that's beautiful. And then these guys, man, honestly, we can just jump them up into the boy, huh? Long Girsu. And then we can Symbol Skeleton, Reborn, our Din Girsu. To mention, all of our Orcust monsters are in the grave right now. And since he has nothing going on, we're going to reattach. Let's reattach our World Wand, I'm thinking. Beautiful. And then, yeah, attack for lethal. This is a quick effect. Send a linked monster to the grave. You're linked here. If they link their own monsters, you know, Orcust is nuts. Let me get into a turn 2 really fast for you. Alright, and here we're going to show off going second, alright? Hand traps, 1-card starters, triple tactics talents. You didn't do nothing, bro. That's pretty weak. It's pretty weak sauce. More hand traps, beautiful. Alright, Girsu's a good starter too. Let's show you the Girsu start. Girsu start's a little different. So Girsu's going to send your Harp Horror. Normally Harp Horror summons the Girsu, but not this time. So we're going to Girsu. Alright, his second effect is to summon tokens on either side of the field. So we're going to do that. Summon a token, summon a token. We're going to go ahead and link our token up into a Link Spider. Remember, we talked about how important the Link Spider is, okay? Summon the Link Spider. We're going to use Harp Horror to boost. Oh no, we're going to use Harp Horror to summon Nightmare. Okay, Nightmare and Girsu can go into a Galatea. Alright, and then the Nightmare is going to activate to send the wand. Send the wand. Okay, Galatea is going to shuffle back my Nightmare. And set up our Orchestrated Babel. Okay, and then we wand, resummon the Harp Horror. Sorry, total brain fart. And then we're gonna rank up into our Dingirsu. Now, just a reminder, this is turn 2, so get rid of that. And activate some of this. Ain't got nothing in his grave to steal. Yeah, nothing's really worth going into, so swing for everything we got. Swing, 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 swing. We could have dismantled it more if we needed to, but we didn't, so there was nothing to use to further dismantle things. And we're gonna IP. The IPP Masquerena. Gonna summon that thing. Okay. And set this. Set this. And you know what? Perfect. Still, once again, we have something a little worse than last time, right? So the IP can do what it needs to do, okay? The Harp Horror can do what it needs to do. If you can IP first, you can actually go into different Link monsters too than just your Orcust, but yeah, he's gonna try doing something spicy. So we're gonna go ahead and activate Harp Horror. Harp Horror is gonna summon the Dingirsu. Dingirsu is gonna send the Nightmare. Nightmare is gonna send the Symbol. Nightmare. Gain the IP. Oh, we're gonna send the Symbol Skeleton. Okay. Then IP can pop off. You ready? We're gonna go into You, and you. Shoot, 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 shoot. I want it pointing at that dude so I can send it. See all these banished cards? We're gonna recycle our good ones. You ready? Were you gonna try to end your turn, dude? So we're gonna shuffle back the Nightmare and the World Wand. And we're gonna send this to the grave. Activate this, summon the Dingirsu, send that to the grave. So hopefully that gives you a good idea of how the deck functions. We have a live Omni Negate, he has no cards on his field, we can steal, we have an Effect Veiler, we have an Ash Blossom, another 1-card starter to do it all over again if we needed to. Orcust is the nastiest control deck of its time. Yeah, that's going to be it for the video today, guys. Let me know what you think of the deck. Let me know what you would change. Let me know what engines you think work best with this deck. And, you know, maybe we'll throw together a few more. I have so many replays with this deck because it's my favorite. But if you catch me live, you'll see this deck a ton. We stream here on YouTube. Sometimes we stream on Kick. Don't forget to like and subscribe, man. The more you guys let me know that you want to watch, the more videos I can make, alright? Have a good night, everybody. Love y'all. Bye-bye.